just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Pack Her Up, Boys, where we put our feet back. And it's time. It is time for the traditional... Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, that's mother's milk. That's mother's milk. Oh, the best beer in all the land, baby. I'm telling you that right now. Look, the MIDI is going crazy. Get into your local Liquor Legends in Queensland, your celebrations. We're currently on special, which ends Tuesday. I mean, we got Bottle-O, Porter's Liquor, IGA Plus Liquor, all across the Eastern Seaboard. Plenty of stores. Head in there. If they don't stock it, just ask them politely. Could you get some bloke in? And they can go on the computers and order some in. Beautiful beer, guys. Make sure to grab a case. And tell you what, no other beer loves rugby league the way we do. This beer was literally born out of rugby league. Literally. It is the beer of rugby league. But I've got the great Matty here. How you going, brother?
What's going on? I am so pumped because I have such a good weekend coming up. First of all, today I got obviously Souths are playing, but we're there with Menulog. Then going to Hunter Valley for a nice wholesome weekend away. And then pretty much as soon as I come back, we're into Origin. The Origin team's drop.
Oh, yeah.
There's obviously game one, there's nothing better than the actual state of Origin, but G'ing up for the first team announcement.
Oh, my God.
There's something about it.
Oh, I kind of wish that the team announcement dropped either before. Does it drop before a review or after?
Well, that's the thing. So I asked a couple of people at work, and they've all got different answers. So I'm not entirely sure when the Blues team's dropping. It's either going to be Sunday night or most likely Monday morning.
What time Monday morning did they say?
Oh, they said around 8 or 9, but it's never, yeah.
As long as if we can start at 10:30, 11.
Yeah, as long as before we start.
Oh, man.
Because I think Queensland are usually the same time. They're usually around that 10 or 11, 12. So I'm hoping that's the same.
Hoping it's earlier.
Hopefully it's earlier so we can really talk about it.
Because what we'll do next week, guys, if the teams are picked, well, even if they aren't picked, we'll probably just have to talk Origin. But that will make us look silly because there'll be players in out. Anyway, hopefully they're picked. If they are picked, we'll dedicate most of the time, or a lot of the time at least, to Origin. So that means that we're not going to be able to go as in-depth into the reviews of each game.
Yep.
We'll still try to get into it, but, Origin time. It's all about Origin, baby.
Oh, there's nothing better.
Now, also, head to bloke.shop, get your bloke jersey. Only a few days left before the discounted price of $99, which the main crew of bloke get, is over. So next Monday, the Monday coming, so in a few days, goes up to $120. Also, there's not that many left, maybe 20%.
Well, half the sizes are gone already.
Yeah, half the sizes are gone. So there's barely any left. Once this design is gone, it is done. We will never do this design and colour again in regards to this specific design. So make sure, bloke.shop, grab your jersey. We've also got a bunch of other stuff on there. We've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got shorts, we've got singlets. Get some bloke kit. Also, if you want to get your mother or your wife a gift, we've still got a few. We've sold out of Footy Mum shirts. We sold out of the hats.
Yeah.
But we've still got Best Mum, Super Mum, and
Boss Mum maybe
gone.
Maybe 2 or 3 left. Not many.
Okay, so we've still got only just a few of the Super Mum and Best Mum shirts left. That's at bloke.shop. Anyway, last night, Broncos v Panthers. It's
weird one.
It's a weird one again.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. I will say I'm more definitive I'm quite proud of the Broncos, and I think they defended so well and proved that, okay, there's a little bit of a gap between them and the tippity top of the comp in regards to Panthers, maybe Rabbitohs, but that by the end of the year, they may have made that gap
That's
up.
what I was going to say. It's still early days, and they're a lot closer than I thought they'd be at this time of year, probably most people.
Especially their defense.
That's what we're going to talk about. We saw in the first 6 or 7 rounds that they can score points from anywhere. They're one of the most exciting teams in the comp. Yeah, they defended pretty good, but the last couple of weeks, even though last week was ridiculous against a Storm, the refs ruined the game. Yesterday, not so much, but it was a lot of 50-50s everywhere.
Both teams, they were even robberies.
Yeah, exactly.
For example, the Scott Sorensen call, it might be the worst no-try call I've ever seen. It might be the worst no-try. And you know what I hate about this is everyone tunes in for positivity with bloke. We're critical and we'll say, when things go wrong. But I genuinely feel like this year I get on every podcast here at Bloke and we are always talking about a referee's call that's so outrageous. I don't mind the 50-50 ones that could go either way. Like even the Reece Walsh one, even though I don't agree with their thought process of reading Reece Walsh's mind saying, well, because he's looking at the defender, therefore he's never going for the ball. It's like, all right, 50-50-ish call.
Yeah.
Even the Kobe Heritage one, some could say that's a 50-50 call. Now, I don't think that's a 50-50 call in the context because I think that's always been a knock-on.
Yeah, it's a knock-on.
In the history. But you could make the argument that the head hit it out of his hand, therefore it went backwards straight away. But the Sorensen one was so poor.
Yeah.
And also, I got to say it, the Taruva one wasn't as poor as Sorensen. That's a double movement every day of the week.
Yeah, I'm a bit torn on that one. Because
now, I know he slid.
Yeah.
But if you watch it again closely, he didn't slid halfway into the goal line.
Yeah,
he just got over.
He does, and he kind of does. He does lift his arm, which is the contentious part.
And that's the contentious part is this. Can you guarantee if he kept his arm in like that, he wouldn't have been taken into touch before the ball got there?
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's a double movement. But I'll cop that because that's like 70-30.
Yeah.
They go your way, sometimes they don't.
I thought that was a double movement. Although, it's one of those things where if you watch it in slow motion, it looks worse than it is.
Yeah.
But I think the movement was still there. His arm was on the ground.
Definitely double movement.
He lifted it up and then he scores.
Put it back down. If he kept his arm tucked in and we don't know whether he would have made the line. He probably would have made the line, but we don't know that. Yeah. We don't know that because he got hit and taken out. But that's not like I'm not sitting there going, what a shocking call.
Yeah,
because those kind of ones I can go, oh, all right, you get them. But the Scott Sorensen one
was shocking.
Was an absolute Barry Crocker.
Where was the knock on?
Where was the knock on? And also, like, he has to move the ball to his body.
Yeah.
Like, you can't stop play and pick it directly upwards.
I think there's a big difference. There was one a couple of weeks ago. Penrith were playing as well. I think it was Isaac Tungo. And it was against Rabbitohs. He scored, but he advanced the ball forward with his hand and then scooped it up. And that was called a knock on. Everyone was like, all right, that makes sense because he picked it up and lost it with his hand.
Yeah.
Sorensen tried to pick it up
just went like that.
with his arm.
Yeah. He literally just went like that, pulled it in.
Yeah. Big difference.
Huge
and
difference.
Wrong call.
Man, that's a bad call. I just don't get it. So it's a game where the better team won. So that's where it's nowhere near as bad as last week.
No, last week.
Even though Storm were probably the better side, what I'm saying is Penrith were clearly the better side last night. Not by a huge margin. And I think a fairer score probably would have been like a 12-6. I think that's around about what I think would be a good reflection of the game.
Yeah.
Maybe even 14-6.
Yeah. Well, I thought the start was great because there wasn't an error for the first half an hour almost.
Yeah.
Then Penrith kind of got on top. And then towards the end of the game, Brisbane came home so strong.
So strong.
Yeah.
Well, in reality, I mean, it really was 12-6 because conversion.
Yep.
And then a field goal.
There was a field, yeah.
So really, it was 2 tries to 1, the penalty or whatever.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's a pretty fair reflection of the. I mean, look, to keep Penrith to 15 points, I'll take that
bloody
any
awesome.
day. I'll take that any day of the week. I think we're progressing really well. I love the fight. And what's so impressive about it is, and maybe look online, it's been mentioned quite a lot, but no one has really mentioned that I've been talking to. They didn't even have Adam Reynolds.
Yeah, yeah.
And what if Panthers didn't have Cleary? Broncos probably win that game.
Broncos win, yeah.
So
if Reynolds played, Brisbane are every chance.
Every chance. You telling me Reynolds isn't worth 6 points?
Oh,
he's worth 12 probably.
Yeah.
He's worth 12. So I'm not saying they definitely would have won because then, Panthers may have pivoted the way they were playing.
Yeah.
Maybe Jock Madden is a better defender. We don't know. We just don't know. But, so last night, some tough calls, but Panthers definitely the better side. But as I said, 15-4, I'll take that any day of the week against
It's round 12, start of the year. Would you, if someone said to you, in the first 3 months of the season, you versed Penrith twice, you're keeping to 4 tries combined,
massive win.
Yeah.
Massive win. So I'm loving what the boys are doing. I'll honestly, it sounds so stupid, and I know people won't like this, I will nearly take that performance over the 40-0 to Tigers, 40 to whatever it was against the Tigers.
Bloody oath you would.
Because that one is just we were so bad with completion rate. And what's incredible is in the end, we only completed at 75%.
Yeah,
so if we had completed 85, we might have got there. So,
do Did you notice, you've probably seen it back, but how, because obviously you were doing the stream last night, so I don't know if you could hear, but the Katoni Staggs no try, the Reece Walsh one, the bunker was about to award it. And then the ref said, no, wrong. The ref overruled the bunker.
What?
Yeah. So the bunker, I'll show you after this. So the bunker was like, yep, Reece Walsh has eyes for the ball. And that's why they replayed it. And then they looked at the grounding. And then Adam G, I think the referee is like, no, that doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. And the bunker changed his mind.
Wow.
Yeah, never seen it before.
I've never seen that before. Maybe that's legal, like as in they've got that within their right to be able to overcall the bunker.
Yeah.
But jeez.
I think he was like kind of just assisting him, but yeah, he was like.
I swear I've heard refs saying we can't overrule. It's the bunker, mate. It's the bunker. The bunker's made their call. I swear I've heard that a lot of the time when they speak to captains.
Yeah. Well, he did it. Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking of the Reece Walsh strip. Yeah, you're right. He's done it. He's done it heaps. They've done it heaps. But yeah, that like Twitter exploded last night when that happened.
So
Gus Feelgood loved it.
Really?
He's like ref overrules bunker. He loved it.
Loved it.
Yeah.
But I will say it was nowhere near the level of refereeing to the Storm game.
Oh God.
There was just a couple of clangers.
Yeah.
Like the Sorensen one, definitely a clanger.
Yeah.
You could argue Taruva, but I don't,
Maybe.
whatever. The Reece Walsh one, bit of a clanger, maybe not.
Reece Walsh one, that's kind of, all right.
It's a grey area.
If you speak to 5 people, they'll probably give you 5
Exactly.
answers.
So that's where you'd be like, outside of that, it was pretty well read.
Yeah. There was a lot of 50-50s in the game, which is tough. It's tough for the ref.
But what I'm saying is there was a lot of free-flowing footy.
Yeah, it's great. Great.
There was
awesome.
heaps of like online defence. And so, but we need to get these big calls wrong. Because what's going to happen in a big game, in a big moment, we're going to get a Sorensen call.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, far out. And that's actually not the ref's fault. That's the video ref's
bunker's fault.
Yeah. So we got to sort that out. I just, for the life of me, cannot see how you can watch that clip and go, nah, not a try. Not a try.
Yeah. And we said it last week, and Andrew John says it all the time, but before they award any try, they got to, when you finish, just watch it in full speed.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know, but that's never going to happen.
Nah.
The great Paddy Carrigan, 67 tackles, only 1 miss against the Penrith Panthers.
And like the miss was in the last 5-10 minutes.
And he ran for 160 metres or something crazy like that?
Yeah, he was, oh God, he's good.
So good, man. Like, talk about a club you can build a club around. It's the Paddy Carrigan.
I tell you what, between, like if the Kangaroos are playing tomorrow, I know you'd fit them all in the team, but Isaiah Yeo is obviously New South Wales number 13. Cameron Murray is just incredible at the moment. And Paddy Carrigan is setting the world alight.
Yeah.
Like,
then you got Tino as well.
Yeah. If you started fresh, if you had to start a team fresh, who would your 13 be? It's
incredible.
It's great.
The standard rugby league that we're watching these days is so good.
It's not been, but it's great. It's
seriously
awesome.
never been better.
Yeah.
I can't remember a season like this where
this has been
any
such a
team
good
can beat
year.
any team.
Yeah.
And right now, 3 to with Broncos lost, that makes it even more congested around that area of the top 6 or whatever. So,
What about last night? So I was with my grandparents and we're watching the footy together. And then I came home and Courtney, she's winning our tipping comp, as I said a few weeks ago. She's still winning. She comes home blowing up at me. She's a little bit drunk. She's like, what the fuck? She tipped Broncos. She's like, why didn't you tell me Adam Reynolds wasn't playing? What the? I always tip Broncos. I'm like, sorry, I'm trying to catch you.
Yeah, sucked in. Hey, you got some guys up footy. The tipping game, it can get dangerous.
Oh, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous, the tipping game. I want to talk about my boy Nathan Cleary. Far out, he was good last night.
Well, he shaved he looks different with his
the fade.
Yeah,
it's
no
funny.
mullet anymore.
It's so hilarious.
Yeah.
So 80 minutes,
good.
a try, 27 runs, 208 metres.
Wow. 27 runs.
27 runs,
Jeez.
6 tackle breaks. Get this, 3 line breaks.
Wow.
3 line breaks.
Oh, true, because he had obviously the try, then he had the one. Yeah, okay.
3
He had
line
one at the
breaks.
start.
But then to make it even better, 3 offloads, 27 tackles from Nathan Cleary. I mean, heading into Origin with a bit of swagger.
That's what we need.
That's what you need. A form, hitting form, your main guy. This series is set up for Cleary
For sure.
to have it. Now,
sure.
if he doesn't have the series from the gods or whatever, don't be too impatient. He's 25 years old, 26 years old.
Yeah.
There's plenty more years. Like, what was Joey, 30 when he had his big series?
Oh, it was his last series, yeah.
His last series. So just be patient. But I do think it is set up perfectly for Cleary to dominate a series.
I hope so.
Because game 3 for you guys last year, wasn't he your best player? Didn't you win player of the match in your game 3 last year? I think he did.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Can you try to maybe Google that?
Yeah.
But I think he won your player of the match game 3 last year. Or maybe
I remember he won.
Do you won player of the series for you?
He won player of the series for New South Wales when we lost the series in 2020.
In 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. But check last year as well, who won your player of the series. But yeah, like that's the tough thing on Cleary is that like he has won player of the series but it's in a losing series. So it's kind of like people say that, he just hasn't delivered on the big stage. It's just like, well, he played better than anyone else in that series
Go
in your
look
team.
at game 2, 2020. I know there was a series.
Electric.
He was unstoppable.
Yeah. So I reckon we're in for, it's Payne, Haas and Cleary. I reckon they're going to have big series.
Hopefully, Payne Haas.
Mate, he was a bit quiet last night. He's got a lot going on in his personal life. So we definitely send our best wishes to Payne and his family. But he's set up for a big.
I can't find it.
Can't find it?
He's very entitled to a week off, Payne Haas.
Oh my god,
he rips in like no one I've ever seen.
He's so good. So Penrith, they're looking incredible. We talked about a few weeks ago, that venom back, that grit, it's just so aggressive and controlling. You know what I mean? They just refuse to let anyone through. They refuse to. They get in the grind and they just don't blink.
Yeah, so true.
Don't blink. Like they're just like, we will stay in this forever. We give the illusion that we could do this for 3 hours if we want.
Yeah,
that's how good they are.
I think as well. People have been critical of them this year, saying, they've lost a couple of games. Excuse me. They're not going to win the three-peat. But even in the games they've lost, like the Broncos one was round 1, it was a grind. The Rabbitohs one, they were 9 out of 10 that game. It's just the Rabbitohs were 9.5, and the Rabbitohs stole it at the end. And that was a grindy, gritty game as well between two heavyweights. Like they've been very underrated this year.
Yeah, well, their defense I think right now is better than it was last year at this stage.
Oh, I think it is. I don't think they've conceded more than...
It's like 13 or 12 points.
Yeah.
So 13 points is their average.
Yeah, and the second most is like 15 and a half, I think.
So the Penrith Panthers, some people are saying they don't look as... like for example, Smithy reckons that people aren't as fearful of Panthers. I'd agree with him. They have lost a little bit of that aura.
Yeah.
Because we're not talking about it in the same breath we were talking about last year. But I think after the last 2 games, I know we were missing Adam Reynolds and I know the Roosters not going well, but I don't know. I thought the Roosters game, yes, the Roosters played really poorly, but I think the Panthers made them play really poorly.
Panthers were hot that night.
They were so good. And last night, they were good. But Broncos were just...
Good as well.
Defense was really good.
It was a high quality game.
High quality game of footy. So that's 2 high quality games in a row. I cannot wait to see them play the Rabbitohs again.
Yeah, me too.
Me
too.
Panthers are looking red hot.
Like obviously they are missing Appy. That is one thing they are missing just around there. But even like Cleary's try, I know it was the one defensive blemish of Brisbane's night. But I think it was Kenny that threw the pass from dummy half. Like that passes. I know Coruscant's known for his like elusiveness around the ruck and stuff. But Kenny's like beautiful pass from straight at Cleary was and incredible.
Also I think we don't give Kenny enough credit of he's only been a hooker for like 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
And we don't talk about that. Like he was a utility pretty much or almost a back rower.
Yeah.
Mitch Kenny, was he? What did he be? Was he originally? I don't think he was he's definitely wasn't a 9.
Yeah.
He's been put in there. I'm pretty sure he's like a utility, like 6 kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Like 13 maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he's still learning his trade.
Yeah, of course.
So he'll get better and better. But yeah, incredible stuff from Panthers. The Jerome Luai situation, look, I think a fine is...
Yeah, it's an interesting one because when I saw it, I was like, he's in trouble based off things in the past. But the more I think about it...
They've eased up since then, though.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. So remember the other day when South played Broncos and Rabbitohs had 14 on the field? And, I mean, you're not on Twitter, but everyone on Twitter was saying, fucking... make them lose their points. Because the Bulldogs lost their points in 2010, blah, blah. And they always better previous examples.
Two wrongs make a right.
But first of all, the situations were different. Won't get into that. But since then, there's been 14 men on the field 4 times, and they've all been a fine.
Yeah.
So maybe in this situation, because I can remember Frizzell getting suspended and Thaiday getting suspended.
But that was a crackdown.
That was a crackdown.
Yeah.
But maybe since then, I think since then there have been situations, but you just don't remember.
You don't
because,
remember them.
yeah.
So not a big deal made about them.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like, put it this way, if that wasn't replayed at all, we wouldn't even
notice.
talk about it.
And he apologised straight. Like he knew, he probably thought it was a Broncos player.
I think he thought it was a Broncos player, and he just wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
And it just happened. I think what saves as well is he immediately was like,
exactly.
sorry. See, it's not, if you're going to push a ref with malice, you're not going to immediately be like, so sorry, so sorry.
You can't, and you can't miss an Origin game because of that. That's outrageous.
No. And I think, look, we always have to say, if Nico Hines did that, we'd all be like,
for sure.
Bit of a stuff up.
For sure.
He wasn't thinking. He thought it was, but it's because it's Jerome Luai.
I hate Luai.
And I understand that he's got form in regards to like he is a polarizing figure to some. But have you like pushing a ref? Like, do you really think he meant that on purpose? Like, come on, man. He just wasn't thinking, and that's just happened. So I think a fine is totally sweet.
For sure.
Nothing more than that. Anything more than that is just like, as I said, you can clearly see there's no intent.
Yeah.
Clearly see there's no intent.
Yeah.
Now, Indigenous round, one of the best rounds of the year. Now, Boots for Brighter Futures, motivated by the sudden and devastating passing of his younger cousin in 2017. Connor Watson and his family started Boots for Brighter Futures. It's a program that engages at-risk Indigenous youth to create the artwork on footy boots for NRL players to be worn this week in Indigenous round. So basically, the program drives change in the participant mindset around mental health using Aboriginal role models sharing their experience. Program's in its 5th year, has 40 young people participating. Their artwork will be featured on 43 NRL players from 8 clubs. You would have seen some sick boots last night.
Yeah.
Tony Staggs, I think Paddy Carrigan as well. Now, you can actually bid on the boots that were worn.
Get a link up.
It's incredible. So you can bid on the boots that were worn by an NRL player. The link will be in the show description.
Show notes, yep.
And the caption of, obviously, YouTube below the video. So make sure you can go and bid. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Everyone can bid, and the money goes to helping Indigenous youth right now, who actually the biggest killer of Aboriginal children between 5 and 17 is suicide, which is devastating to hear. This can help combat that, guys. Plus, you get these incredible one-off boots, like not just like some pair of boots that this player wore in a game. One-off design.
One-off design. Never. So I'll read out some of the link now. There's obviously, as you said, there's 43, but just as some examples, like you got Harry Grant, his boots, James Tedesco, Joey Manu, Suali'i, Luke Keary, Lindsay Collins.
So crazy.
Like plenty.
Yeah, plenty.
Kalen Ponga's headgear.
No way.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I'm going to definitely be chucking a sneaky bit on a couple of Broncos players' boots. Also, stream NRL games for free. 9 now. Tonight, we start with not tonight. Last night, obviously, you streamed Broncos Panthers, which is the commentary team. It's the best guys. You know that. Also, the stream is great. The app is great. It's there's never any issues, which is just so good to sit back and watch footy and not have to worry about that kind of stuff.
Tell you what I love last night. Fatty Vorton in the commentary box.
So good.
Nothing better.
There's nothing better.
Like when Fisher Harris smacked Ricky in the ribs and it got penalised and put on a report, which is ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Fatty's blow up was so funny.
Like tackling too hard.
Yeah, it was so funny.
He tackled his ribs too hard. And that's what I talk about the reffing is like, he let the game flow to a degree, but we got to get rid of these clangers where you're like, bro, it is rugby league.
Yeah.
Why are we penalising people for being too aggressive?
Yeah, for excessive force. What is that?
It's ridiculous. Like, this is rugby league, excessive force.
Ridiculous.
So, okay, next time are we not allowed... Like, it's going to get to the point in 10 years or wherever where any aggression, like shooting out of the line, if you shoot past a player, they'll almost penalise you because they don't want to look... They don't want the people watching going... but that's what is rugby league.
Footy.
That's footy. Anyway, so stream tonight. We've got the Rabbitohs playing the Eels at Allianz Stadium. What a setup on 9 now. Then on Sunday, Raiders take on Manly. So the biggest games and the best commentary. It's all free. You don't have to pay for it, and you can stream it now anywhere, anytime. As I said, though, if you want to watch all the games, whatever, but the big games with the best commentary, 9 now.
Man, I'm keen as for that Raiders Manly game. You would never think so at the start of the year, but Raids are 5 in a row and killing it. And Manly are so desperate. I'm really excited for that game.
Manly situation is weird. Like, they're just falling off the face of the... They genuinely have fallen... Like, I know it's not like panic stations in regards to, like, their season's over, but compared to where they started the first 2 rounds to where they are now, it is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, insane.
The positive is it's a longer season than usual, 27 rounds. They got time to reel it back in. Also, don't forget, Menulog. Use the code PONGA to get $10 off when you spend $30 or more. That is PONGA. That's the code. $10 off when you spend $30 or more. Also, all bloke members to sign up on Menulog get $15 off when you spend $30 or more. Head to offers.menulog.com.au/bloke to claim this. Link will be in the show notes. Actually, I was driving today, and I'm driving, and I see a nice car, and then I see a bloke driving it, and it's a forward, like an Audi forward drive or whatever, sedan, and he's wearing gloves.
Gloves? Like leather gloves?
Like leather gloves. Ooh. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're not Jason Bourne. Second of all, you're more of the Dexter. You're clearly a serial killer. Yeah. Who wears gloves driving these days? So weird.
Like, when I was like maybe 6 years old, I saw someone doing it. I thought it was cool. When I was 6.
Bro, you are not Jason Bourne. You are not... You're not, like...
How old was he, roughly?
50?
Interesting.
And he's wearing gloves driving. Like, why? Tell me why. Please. Can someone please tell me why you would ever wear gloves? And we're talking about a big sedan.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not talking about... You're not on the racetrack on the F1.
Like, we're talking about...
We're in Sydney where you can't go more than 40 k's an hour.
Like, it's honestly...
Gloves.
Gloves. And they were leather. And I'm just like, that's...
It's a bit lame, to be honest.
That's serial killer kind of stuff.
It really is. It really is. Maybe on his way to maybe he's like doing a bank heist or something. Can't get his fingerprints.
Yeah. I don't know why I said forward drive. Like, fucking idiot. Sedan.
I don't know.
Yeah, so driving, just a normal dude.
Yeah.
Just a normal dude in an Audi. And the Audi wasn't even like that high end either. So it's not like he's some VIP driver.
Yeah, but if I saw someone in a Lamborghini wearing gloves, I'd still think they're a weirdo.
Yeah, super weird. I just don't get it. Like, what, your hands are going to get callous from driving a very strange stuff?
I don't think there's any reason to.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Gives me serial killer vibes, and I just think that I may have driven past a serial killer today.
Do you ever walk past people? Like, do you ever sit back and think? Like, sometimes, like, do you ever people watch, and then you wonder like what their story is, and then like you're sitting in a cafe or whatever, I just like sometimes I don't know if this is weird. I like zone in on people.
Sounds creepy already, but
yeah, it's a bit creepy.
Sounds creepy.
And like I zone in on people, and I'm just like, fuck, I wonder what this like.
You sound like a serial killer right now.
Maybe I should get some gloves.
You literally sound like a serial killer.
I don't have a car. Do you ever like wonder like how many like criminals or whatever you've walked past in a day? I think that all the time.
Really?
I don't want to like say anything, like scatter anything, but like imagine how many like bad people you walk past.
Yeah, that do like their lives, their secrets they have, like whatever is going on. I sometimes, when I see people that are happy doing just mundane, like a mundane job or whatever, and I've been in it, like say hospitality, let's just say that, and I've done hospitality.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing, they're not beneath me or above me or whatever, but it's a job. It's an ends to a means. You're in hospitality serving people because your focus in life isn't at that period about money. It's about, saving up to go traveling or, now don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are people that love hospitality and they move up the ranks or whatever.
Yeah, if you're like a manager or something, yeah.
But if you're doing hospitality, it's usually a job it's just to get your money. So it's not a career kind of thing. Now, as I said, there are when you go into like rich places, I'm talking about, but yeah, they're really happy and they love their life and they're easygoing. And sometimes I feel real guilty because I'm like, you are so lucky and you're in a bad mood today.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I feel like a piece of shit.
You put up with a lot of fuck.
You put up with shit.
Yeah.
You put up with shit. And so like if I'm in a bad mood or I'm just like shitty or whatever, and then I see this person that's doing just a normal job, just going about their life and got other focuses that aren't the same as my focuses, I feel guilty. And I'm like, you're such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, you are sitting here in a bad mood or whatever. See, that lady's probably a single mum trying to take care of 3 kids and she can smile and be happy and you're sitting here sooking about whatever you're sooking about. That happens to me quite a bit.
You know, I got to get the guy's name. His name's Hugh. It's called the Resilience Project. His name's Hugh something, I think, but it's called the Resilience Project. And I did it a few years ago, and you get like this like booklet, and it literally changed my life. And it's basically just a gratitude thing. And I don't do it anymore, but I did it like maybe 2 years ago. But now like sometimes it makes me like sit, like when I'm pissed off at something, it makes me sit back and realize how much good I've got going on.
Oh man, seriously. But yeah, it's you can get so caught up in your own nonsense. It's crazy.
For sure.
So caught up in your own old nonsense.
I tell you what, the people I feel sorry for, like people that have to deal with drunk people.
Oh, man.
Like you go to, like, especially like you go to a nightclub and there's
You know what's mental is like I had the pub.
Yeah.
And I never really had that many dickheads.
Really?
Yeah, like seriously. You know, we had it for a few years.
Yeah, true.
And I can't really remember that many where I was like, honestly, maybe 1 or 2. Outside of that, most people were pretty good, which is shocking because you usually think that people drunk, blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what it was, mate? Responsible service of alcohol.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
right. I thought you were going to say it's a Queensland thing.
Well, also that as well. No dickheads up there, mate. Of course, no dickheads.
And we're in Eastern Sydney now, so very different.
But yeah, I always admire people that
100.
I just think sometimes the internet. You look on the internet and you compare your life all the time.
Oh, for sure.
And it's all, as we've already said, it's all fake or whatever. I so admire people that are just like, yeah, I like my job's fine and I go to work, I do it, get home, you know, I'm with the kids or with this, that or whatever. It's just to be able to just chill like that. I respect the shit out of that because like I'm too like wigging out, like you know what I mean?
Yeah. I bet those people just it's a real gift to be able to focus on the good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're glass half full people.
Yeah.
Just constantly focus on the good. I respect the shit out of that. But at the same time, you are a serial killer. Talking about like criminals and that. Staring at them. What the
People
hell,
watching.
bro?
Yeah.
What about on the news just recent, like literally today, some dude, I think West Africa, a doctor was held hostage for 7 years.
What?
And he just got let go.
Oh, shit.
7 years.
Like by criminals, like...
Well, definitely criminals being held hostage.
Sorry, yeah.
Jesus Christ, Matty, keep up, bro.
Sorry, no. I didn't get my words out right. I meant like which, like who, like why, who held him?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they held him. But what's weird is like 7 years, you'd be mates by then.
I know, right?
Because like even your captors, you're 7 years together. Surely you become mates.
Well, they say in a relationship, once you hit the 7-year itch, if you can get over that, you're going to be together forever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, well, I think that's bullshit.
So maybe they were like, no, we got the itch.
They got to 7 years and they're like, nah.
See you later. This guy's annoying.
It's like, and then people, when he got home, were like, well, of course it wasn't it. You are a hostage, you idiot. The hell? But like, swear to God, usually, now everyone, like, not everyone's a cup of tea, but you spend enough time with someone, you can usually find some common ground.
Well, that's like, think about co-workers. Like, if you work in a big business, it's a little different here because we're such a small business, but like, if you work in a big business, which most people probably would, you just become friends with everyone around you.
Yeah.
And like, even if you got nothing to do with them. So you're right.
Yeah, fucking hell. So imagine
7
Do you
years,
reckon the hostage cried leaving his hostage? The hostage cried leaving the people that held him.
Yeah, I reckon.
Because they would have been mates.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It would have been almost. He used to his lifestyle,
Yeah.
and now there's a big change.
It'd be like in Shawshank Redemption when the guy that left jail couldn't deal
couldn't deal with it.
Couldn't deal with it. So he, yeah.
Wow. Could you imagine? He's so used to it. And then...
So did he ever like, I don't know if you know the details, like did he ever have like a family and stuff? Like did they think he was
I'm
dead?
not sure. I just heard on the news, doctor held for 7 years. But also like to hold someone for 7 years, that's a lot of effort. A lot of effort. Incredible stuff.
Wow.
Also, let's look at some weird stories. We forgot to shout out, but pack her up, boys. Always brought to you by Sportsbet, guys. Partner with Sportsbet, the best in the business. #1 sports podcast with the #1 betting agency. A match made in heaven. If you're going to have a punt, you got to do it with Sportsbet. Everyone knows that's the best app. Everyone knows that. As usual, gamble responsibly. Only gamble what you can afford, guys. A little fun here or there. But do it with Sportsbet because they're the best in the business if you're going to do it. Weird stories. Women charged. Women or woman?
Woman. This is a good one.
Woman charged with faking pregnancy to get time off work. Colleagues became suspicious when they noticed her bump was askew, and she sent them inconsistent photos of her fake children. She tried to get 7 weeks off paid. To make this even funnier, she did it at her previous employer, got caught, and those employers warned the new employer. The new employer assumed it was a misunderstanding until she tried to do it again. She wore a fake stomach, and when the baby was born, she showed them photos which depicted children with various skin tones. She also sent emails from the father to her employer that she had also made up. What the hell?
I laughed the whole time reading this. It just gets better and better every single sentence.
What the? What's the lengths you've gone to get a sickie, to get a day off? What's the biggest porky you've told where it's utter nonsense?
I've got one. It's a little similar, but it's not really. So I went to uni at Notre Dame and you're allowed to have, I think, two like unexplained days off or whatever. And you're allowed, I think, 2 with a doctor's note or something. And I was so shitty. Like I didn't go to uni ever. So I'd used up all mine. And then the Cricket World Cup was here and Australia were playing India. And it was on a Friday or whatever. And I went with my dad, but it was on during my class. So there was no way I could get out of it. So I withdrew from the course.
Just to watch the Cricket World Cup?
Yeah, and I don't regret it. It was like, sorry, not the course, the subject.
The subject?
Yeah, so I had to redo it.
Oh my God. You had to redo it?
I had to redo it.
Just to watch the World Cup?
Yeah.
So as in just that one day?
That one game.
Oh my, you redid a subject?
I redid the whole subject.
For one game?
Yeah. And it was the World Cup semi-final, Australia versus India. And like, it's just one of those, like I don't
So how long was the subject? How long did it take? How far were you into it?
Well, it was close to the end. It was probably like week 8.
So you had to do 8 more weeks for one game?
8 more weeks plus, like altogether was like 12. So like, yeah, I had to, basically.
Oh my God, that is such a commitment and you don't regret it?
Nah, it was one of the best games of cricket I've ever been to. It was sick. And I got, like, it was a good, cool day with my dad as well.
No way. Did your dad know that you didn't tell your dad because he would have been filthy?
Yeah, dad's a principal. I don't know if I would have told him.
You wouldn't have told him because he wouldn't have let you do it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Pulling out of a subject from one game, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it was, I wasn't too good at uni, but.
This is a mixture of real and not real. So when I got to the Warriors, it was just the first few weeks in and I was feeling homesick and I was like, oh, could I go back home and, see the family and that. And also my partner as well was back home.
Yeah.
For a few days over the weekend. And they let me, which was super nice of them and I always appreciate that. But I did go home and fucking go skits on the tree. Went to a festival and partied very hard.
Nice.
So it's a mixture of both though, because I did go home to see the family, but I also let a bit loose. And I'm sure if they had known that I was letting loose, they would have been like, bro, like, is that necessarily family time? I don't think it is. But
how long did you go for?
I was only 2 or 3 days.
Okay. So you fit all that in?
Yeah. So like flew back Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I think maybe got back in, like as in Monday Arvo, so like missed half a day or whatever.
Right, okay.
So I didn't miss that much.
Yeah.
But
that's still pretty...
Yeah, as a footy player.
Yeah, as a first grader.
I mean, that's what footy players do. We do dumb shit. I was like, 20 years old, 21 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. Half a day. And as I said, I actually was home. My missus was over in Australia still.
Yeah.
And I was homesick. I definitely... needed to get it and then get back to New Zealand kind of thing.
Yeah, right. That's funny. I tell you what, COVID, there was a lot of bad in COVID, but it was easy to get off work.
Oh,
it was the best. It was the best. I'm like, sorry, I got a sniffle. I can't come in.
Yeah, I can't come in.
Yeah.
Imagine how much that was used. Holy heckers.
Yeah.
The good old sniffle.
yeah. Because everyone at that point was like, don't even come near me.
I don't want to. Man, when COVID first hit, people forget how scary it was. Because you just didn't know. You didn't know what was happening. You didn't know what was happening.
I remember we had a guy email into New South Wales saying, can you get Freddie to give me a shout out, like send me a message, because my dad has COVID. His name was Bruce or something. And I remember thinking like feeling so sorry for this guy. I'm like, oh my God, this guy has COVID. Like this poor guy, like far out.
Yeah.
But it was fucking,
It ended up being, but you forget though, because we didn't know. No one
we didn't
knew.
know. It was so...
The doctors, the scientists, no one knew what the hell was going on. Whereas like people try to judge back then with today's information, like it ended up being sweet. Why did we panic so much? It's like, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, Captain Hindsight. It's like, come on.
I went to the petrol station and got like filled up things with petrol.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
fuck off.
Went to Bunnings and got like axes just in case shit went fully south. Because there's no weapons in Australia.
You bought axes?
Yeah.
Just in case there was...
They weren't like little tiny ones.
What, like to protect yourself?
Well, like in case... Because like if everything shuts down...
Oh my God.
It's riots.
That's the best.
And so I got enough fuel. I planned it all.
It's like an apocalypse.
I got enough fuel to get back to our family home in Mudgeeraba, which is relatively in the country.
Yeah.
So I think I worked it out like 700 Ks or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe longer. So I got a few different jerry cans of fuel and then just the stuff to protect us.
Fuck. So did you... Because I've seen your apartment. Did you just store it in your house?
So there's a cage downstairs where the fuel still is.
Is it still there?
Yeah, I'd just be sitting there. I haven't touched it.
Yeah, good.
And then obviously the tree axes or whatever they were. I don't think they're there anymore. But because like I was just thinking like it's not like I wanted to use them, but people don't understand. Once it's too late, once you realize something's happened, it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah.
And so you can either walk around without anything to protect yourself, or you can protect your family with some weapons.
Everyone's like at the supermarket, like rushing to buy pasta and toilet paper, and he's dead in a camp at Bunnings buying axes to protect himself.
Mate, it's called fucking eyes up footy.
That is so funny.
Like,
holy shit.
Well, I got a wife to protect, future children to protect.
Man, at the time, you just never, you don't know.
And the thing, okay, what's mental is that they've done simulations where if trade stops between the nations, the whole world just goes into like chaos pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
Think about this. Think about how crazy people will laugh at it, and it is funny. It's hilarious. But think about this. We had a toilet paper shortage.
Yeah, I know.
Think about that.
I know.
Toilet paper.
I know.
Of all things, we ran out of toilet paper, boom, like that, before we even knew that it was gone. So that shows you how quickly shit can just go.
Yeah.
Just go. Like, so I was just like, obviously I didn't want to use them or anything like that.
I know.
Purely for protection.
I love that. That is so funny.
Mate, as I said, once you realize something's up, it's over.
I love that that's your instinct. Protect. Let's go to, that's so good.
And so we had, as I said, I'd planned it all out that like, I was in the mindset at this stage because what happens is like when emergencies drop or something happens crazy, people just stay and stand still and they go like, what's happening? What's happening? They want to find out what's happening. Like, let's say something crazy happens in a shopping mall. Yeah. People will stand around. They'll walk towards it.
Yeah.
Whereas I was in the mindset, as soon as there is even a sniff of something shutting down, we're in the car and we're gone.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you wait and go, what's happening? Whatever, you are stuck in the traffic with everyone else.
True.
You need to be before everyone knows. It's like investing. You don't want to be investing in something when it's at its peak. You want to get in before people are in.
Yeah.
And so, that was my mindset, was like protecting and then a plan.
Fuck, if something like...
And also, we also bought like months and months of like food that would last, like canned food and that would last for ages.
dry pasta and shit.
That would last for ages. Yeah, and it was funny is like when everything was sweet, we had all this fucking food, like literally stuff that would last ages.
Yeah.
Sitting in the pantry.
That's so funny. That is, man, if something like crazy happens, I hope we're at work and we're following your lead.
Mate, you know what's weird is I can't believe other people weren't thinking like that.
No, I certainly
and
was.
Maybe I sound like a paranoid psycho, but I don't think it is at all. I think it's smart. I think it's like you got to get there before other people get there.
Yeah. No, I understand the thinking.
And I got someone to protect. I got to take care of my wife.
Yeah, no. I respect that for sure.
She would need taken care of. So and then you got your family too.
Yeah.
So
I love the petrol is almost the best bit. I need to get this car to Mudgerbah.
Yeah. Diesel, so two jerry cans full of diesel.
Yeah.
Straight away. As soon as it started kicking off in Australia, that's when I did. I was like, boom, took out the car straight down, bought the jerry cans, everything in, boom, filled it all up. Then we went straight to the Woolies, got all the food, the long food that lasts for ages. Anyway.
Bloody awesome.
No one's going to think I'm a psycho.
Yeah. Thank God you said that because like my watching people serial killer things have been overshadowed.
Doesn't sound as bad. Which it sucks though because you kind of have to think like that because we're a line so close to chaos.
Yeah.
Like civility, like society and civility keeps us in line, and obviously the army and the government but once it breaks down, it breaks down, and it's every man for himself, which is sad. You wish that you could be better than that and stronger than that. Look, people do come together and groups do form, obviously.
Yeah, but look at the toilet paper. That's an example.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everything, like there were people still going in buying a bunch of toilet paper, even though they knew there was a serious shortage.
Yeah,
it's toilet paper.
Toilet paper, not punching on.
And then what's crazy is that then they started to be all these like news of like, oh, there's all this other stuff could run out, and it was all fake news. They were like, no, relax. We've got like big warehouses of. The only way it runs out is if everyone panics and goes right now to the. Because put it this way, you've got all your local stores. Imagine every single person goes straight to that store and buy something. The shelves would be cleaned out in 30 seconds.
True.
30 seconds. A store doesn't have enough stock on hand to supply the surrounding area all at once.
Yeah.
It's a slow trickle. So anyway, Doomsday Preppers with Beak next week. Look, maybe was it overboard? Probably. But I'd rather be safe than sorry, mate.
Yeah, you're prepared. No one else is.
You know, everyone will be bloody laughing at me. Well, next Doomsday, I'll be sweet, ready to go. You guys will be asking, Dan, let us in. Like, nah, laughed at me.
Do you still have the axes and
I don't know. As I said, it was purely just like protection, just in case everything went crazy.
Yeah.
Because think about it like this. Let's say no one has any protection in regards to like a baseball bat or whatever, and there's just one guy with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
He will towel up how many people?
Everyone, yeah.
He could take whatever he wants from you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You just get pounded in the earth.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into some rugby league. Talk about getting pounded in the earth. Okay. So tonight, St. George Dragons versus Roosters. St. George, obviously this is all brought to you by Sportsbet. Not the Doomsday prepping. That's not brought to you by Sportsbet. But the rugby league is brought to you by Sportsbet. Could you imagine if they made a market on like the world ending?
They have. So,
really?
Sportsbet used to do novelty bets, and you could bet on how the world would end. And everyone's like, but the world's ended. You'll never get your money back.
That's smart marketing.
So good.
Because like it's pure marketing.
Because people would put $1 on it just for fun.
Yeah.
But if they got like 1,000 people to just put like $5 or $10 on it for fun, they just it's made this smart.
So funny.
Yeah.
Okay, St. George, $2.75. Sydney Roosters, $1.45. I'm going Roosters here, but you know what is bizarre? If the Dragons beat the Roosters, I reckon it's going to be chaos at the Roosters.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to that point, isn't it? What do you reckon? Just gun to head. Do you reckon Benny Hunt will be there next year?
Yeah, I reckon he'll be there. I reckon he's playing so well that the new coach coming in will be like, mate, you're 100% a part of our plans.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing is like, if he does stay, I just don't see how they can fit Amon and Sullivan in that side.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're going to have to lose someone, or they're going to have to be able to somehow convince Ben Hunt to play 9 and rotate with Little, or as in someone rotates with Little, not Hunt. Keep Hunt on the 80 minutes.
I mean, that'd be ideal, but I've never even met Ben Hunt. But
He's a good bloke.
Yeah.
I highly doubt he'd be willing to break a contract just because he's pissy and wants to leave or whatever. If the only way I see it happening is if mutually him and the Dragons talk and the Dragons go, listen, man, stay with us one more year, and then that last couple of years or whatever, we'll ease Sullivan in, then we'll give you permission to go elsewhere in that last year. We get a bunch of cap space, then someone else can come in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Put it this way, I think it's too late. Oh, I mean, maybe not. Maybe not if you've got a good trade for it. But you want as much time, if you are going to mutually part ways, you want as much time to prepare for it as possible because you want to use that money that he's going to give you perfectly. Perfectly. But I think... I can't see him being like an agitator for a release. He could potentially go to them and say, look, what's the direction?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of another rebuild. And they might go, all right, we can talk. Or they might say, mate, we need you here. I think if they said that to him, I think he'd say, all right, sweet.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I got Roosters. I don't really want him to leave either. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably is Queensland bias. I actually wouldn't mind him at the Dolphins.
Dolphins would be cool.
Because then you go, could these guys win a comp?
Oh, can you imagine?
But Flegler, Herbie, and Hunt. Imagine that rocked up next year.
Yeah. And then you still got Wayne there.
You still got Wayne there. It's like, and people go, that's crazy. They're what, 5th right now?
I think they're 5th or 6th, yeah.
Jeremy Marshall King, Hamiso, Hunt, Katoa.
And they're obviously we've all seen what their 4-pack can do.
Yeah. And then you add Flegler and you add Herbie to that side.
Yeah.
It's starting to look like, wow, it's not a bad side at all.
Yeah. Fuck. Can't believe the Dolphins.
Who you going? Dragons?
Sorry, Roosters.
Going Roosters?
Yep.
Rabbitohs, Eels. Yeah, Rabbitohs paying $1.35, Eels $3.25. I will say, bit of value there on the Eels. I'm not picking the Eels, but bit of value there. The Eels are still a good squad. Moses returns.
Yep. I'm going South purely because I'd pick him anyway, but they always live for Indigenous round, and AJ's got a hat trick in his last 3 Indigenous games.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm going South.
But I think
325 or whatever it is a lot.
325 is value because we're talking about this is essentially I understand they've lost Reed Marnie or whatever, but this is still a scary Eel side that's taken it to the best in the comp.
For sure.
They beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
And they took Storm all the way to the
Golden
death.
Point, yeah.
Took Sharks all the way to the death. But I'm going Rabbitohs.
Yep.
Sharkies, $1.35. Knights, $3.25. I actually think there's a bit of value there in Knights as well.
I don't hate the Knights. I actually don't know who I'm tipping. At this point, I've tipped the Sharks.
I'm going Sharkies.
But I definitely could change. The Knights were good last week. It's not at Shark Park. It's in Coffs Harbour, so there's no home ground advantage. I'm gonna go Sharks, but I'm nervous.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
But I'm going Sharkies too. You know, Nico Hines' last rehearsal or whatever for Origin, so he's going to have a big one. West Tigers, Cowboys. West Tigers, $2.25. Cowboys, $1.65.
I got the Tigers in this one. I think they've shown plenty in the last month or so. I thought defensively they were great last week against South. They looked a bit lost in attack, I will admit. The first 90 metres of the field, they were great, but then as soon as they started to attack, they were just lost. But if they can put that together, they can test a lot of teams. And the Cowboys, they were good 2 weeks ago, and they were pretty good against the Dragons, but still unconvincing for this year for me. So I'm going Tigers.
I'm going Cowboys. Dolphins, $2.75. Storm, $1.45.
Another tough one, but I'm going Dolphins.
You going Dolphins?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think because so many ex-Storm players. Yeah.
I'm going Storm.
Cool.
Doggies, Gold Coast Titans. Doggies paying $2, Titans $1.80. I'm going Doggies. I reckon they're desperate for a win. Even though Titans, they're desperate as well, the way they played last week, but I'm going Doggies.
I tipped Titans on Monday, but I'm changing. I'm going Doggies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Raiders, Manly.
Raiders
are $1.60, Manly $2.35.
Raiders, Manly have shown me. I backed Manly last week to beat the Sharks, and that was just egg on my face. They were not good. So, yeah, I'm going Raiders to continue the streak.
At home as well.
You know what? So I looked at the Raiders draw. Papali'i retired from rep footy. Now we got Whiten retiring from rep footy. They play Rabbitohs next week. Rabbitohs are going to be depleted through Origin.
Yeah.
They've got a good solid draw. I think actually we might have spoken about this on Monday.
Yeah, I think
they got a good solid draw coming up.
And that was before Papali'i.
Exactly. Yeah. So the Raiders.
Raiders, eh? Could they be smokies?
Yeah. I'm going Raiders.
Anyway, that is it. Done and dusted.
You going Raiders?
Yeah, I'm going Raiders.
Yeah.
Done and dusted. Pack her up, boys. Make sure to get in your local. Grab a case of Bloke beer. It is the best beer in all the land. If you're in Queensland, we're in plenty of liquor legends. We're in Bottle-O's. We're in IGA Plus Liquors. We're in Celebrations in New South Wales and Queensland. We're in a bunch of independent stores. So get in your local. Grab a case of Bloke beer. Beautiful, easy drinking beer. Try our midi, Bloke midi. Beautiful, easy drinking midi, and the can looks sick. But as usual, I'll go and fuck myself. Thank you.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.